Going inside Memorial Sports, this is the Panther Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. This is the High School Fan Zone on a Monday night. We're going to transition to Memorial's segment. And no football this week. I will be talking to Jason Richards this week. I don't even see how they did in football. I'll ask him that tomorrow. And those guys they're important, but they're playing a non-varsity schedule, so we're going to jump to a couple sports that are playing varsity or competing at the varsity level and doing really well. Nick Cordes on the far left, and you're going to be a name and a face that's familiar to a lot of people in Lubbock. LCU.
Okay.
How long were you at LCU?
I was the head coach for 10 years for cross country and track. And
since I told you that I knew your wife from many years ago, your wife may be more familiar to Lubbock folks than you are. Not that you're not.
Yes.
Explain to people who your wife is.
She was Lee Daniel. She grew up here in Lubbock. She went to Monterey High School. She was the former record holder for three-pointers at Monterey High School. Also qualified for state in tennis doubles. But her claim to fame was, other than marrying me, was that she was a two-time national champ at Texas Tech. She was our first national champ in individual sports for track. So
did she run for West, or was that pre-West?
That was actually her first national championship was under West. Yep,
okay.
And Dave Smith, who's now Oklahoma State, winning national championships.
So for folks who aren't familiar, which I can't imagine they're not, everybody knows who Reese Pena is now. Everybody knows some of the she was Reese Pena before Reese Pena. She set all kinds of high standards that I think probably kids now even try to meet.
She was all right.
She did all right. I'm going to have you introduce your two athletes, then I'm going to have them introduce themselves by voice because we're on radio, we're also on TV. So just so you guys can see up there. I always like to warn people so that they don't...
Give your best presentation,
there
right?
There we go.
All right, well,
I clean up as well as I can. So let me have you introduce these two.
Well, sitting to my right is Brax. Brax is a sophomore with our puprogram. He's also a student in my Money Matters class, so we get a lot of time together. He's also a member of the soccer team at Memorial High School. And sitting next to him is Araceli or Tilly, and she is also a sophomore. Both were at Friendship High School last year, and we're super glad to have them at Memorial High School this year.
And I'm going to guess that you're super glad that they run pretty well because last week... Now, we'll talk about what you guys competed at, but last week, and you tell me who does the cross-country rankings in Texas.
It would be the Cross Country Track Association, which is like the CCTA or something like that. But yes, they're a nice group of coaches all across the state.
And they were very nice to you guys because last week it came out that you guys were ranked 9th. The girls were ranked 9th in the state in Class 4A.
Correct. Yes, we were very pleased and surprised to see that ranking. Some of our athletes are so young that they have probably no idea what that truly means. But with only 10 teams being ranked in our cross country rankings, it was awesome to see that. We had won our first 3 cross country meets, which was great. Right. Our third meet, I don't think those coaches knew that we were going against a 6A district champion in Midland Legacy, and they had 2 girls go the wrong way in the cross country course, and so we ended up beating them by 1 point. But they saw the final result and they thought, "Hey, here we go." So I think that kind of helped us out a little bit in those rankings. But we're a very competitive team and we've done well. But I thought 9th was a little bit high for us, but there's only 10 teams that get ranked, so I was pleased to see it either way. So
until they grab that microphone, did Brendan give you guys your instructions? Hold it above the silver, talk as loud as you need to. He'll adjust you. So coach coached you guys not to run the wrong way, so that's pretty good coaching, first of all.
Yes.
But how cool was it for you guys when Coach came in and said, or did it kind of hit you at all, or did it kind of just go over your head?
Like when he said we were in ranked 9th?
Yes.
It was like kind of shocking because like it's crazy how like we just went through the season and like we just like are boom, like we're there at 9th already. But it was exciting to see.
Yeah, because even though you're freshmen and sophomores, this whole high school competitive athletics thing is still pretty new to you.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned you won your first 3, right? Well, Brax, we'll get you to talk in just a second here, I promise. You mentioned your first three events. This weekend, you guys ran at the LISD Invitational at May Simmons, which you've been around Lubbock for a while. You know can be a competitive, challenging course for any runner, but especially ones who haven't run it much before. And you didn't win, but I thought it was impressive that you guys finished 5th in the 4A girls, correct?
Yes, correct.
And I mentioned when you walked in, you got to see what Canyon looks like, what Andrews looks like. You knew what they look like.
Sure.
The girls got to see, hey, this is what we need to kind of strive to be. That's a good coaching moment, I would imagine.
Yeah, it was great. No, unfortunately, we had beat Andrews earlier in the year, but when they have 3 outstanding top runners on the female side, and in a race that's very competitive in the top end, those 3 girls get combined score very low. And when we beat them, we were at a meet that wasn't as deep. At the top end, but we did beat a team that the week before at the Canyon meet, they had beat us by 50 points, so we beat them by a point, which was nice to see. All of a sudden in a 1 week turn, you can have that kind of change if you do things a little bit differently, maybe a little bit better than they did. So it was fun. It was great to see it. It was a tough course. We're going to be there hopefully the next 2 weeks because districts, and then will be next Thursday, and then the following week will be at regionals if we qualify for it, to get a little bit more information for our athletes. So this is what it looks like. Here's where it's narrow. Here's where you can make passes. Here's where you can't. Here's how they get out. Here's how they don't. So I think we're a little bit more prepared. Hopefully we get to districts, get a little bit more information, then we give our best shot at regionals.
Had either one of you ever run there before at May Simmons?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a couple times. We had meets there for middle school, and then we also did it again at high school while we were running 6A. Those hills are killer, man.
You say that. Last week, Amy Withrow, Coronado coach, was on, and she said, sometimes my kids don't like the course early in the year because of the hills, and it caught me by, I've lived here a long time. I didn't know there was really big hills in Lubbock. So coming up on a break, we'll come back and talk more Memorial Panther cross country and tennis after this break.
This is the Panther Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back to the Panther Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. We are talking Memorial cross country. Brax, I was told you are a good talker, so I got to get you involved here.
Indeed.
First of all, I'm excited that you're first. I assume most of you guys are dual sport. Fair to say, tennis players. Do you play more than one sport, or is tennis it?
Tennis.
It keeps you busy. It's falling. What about you, Tilly?
I don't know. I only run cross country.
Track.
Oh yeah, I do.
There you go.
Too.
We'll get you out there and track. Brax, you're a soccer guy.
Oh.
Yep.
And to me, soccer and cross country are very much hand in hand because there are maybe swimming, but there are no athletes I respect more than soccer players because you guys just run all the time, just like nonstop. I look out there and I can watch you for like 30 seconds. I'm like, man, I'm exhausted just watching you guys. So how does one help with the other?
Well, I mean, soccer, it's just endurance. You run, then you keep running. Cross country, you run, you keep running, you keep running.
You got a finish line in cross country.
Yeah, eventually you get there. Seems a little bit further each time. I think the coach might move it back, just mess with you, but you know.
I was an athlete in high school, but on track, if it got to be beyond 400 meters, that was it for me. I'm tapping out after that.
One lap,
yeah, that was about it for me. Short bursts were fine. So Brax ran the fastest time for you guys at the LISD Invitational, 18:58. Where does that stack up in terms of season best?
Well, my season best right now is like 16:59. No, it was 17:59. Sorry, it was like slightly below 18. I did that at Canyon, so that was a fun course. Got a lot more running, a lot less hills than May Simmons, and it was a lot cooler. It was blistering hot at May Simmons.
And it's hard to say true because all the courses are a bit different. So you might get one that's 3 miles, you might get one that's closer to 5K. So it could be a 45-second difference just in that point too, right there. But yeah, it was almost 90 degrees on Saturday for the afternoon races. So anybody who was out there was just they were battling deep.
Yep, I think your friends were probably happier with when they got to go first thing in the morning.
6A,
so.
yeah, that's right.
So Tilly, how did your race go the other day? What did you think about your performance there?
I think I could have done better, but the heat also played a big factor in like breathing wise. But I feel like I could have done better.
How ready he won't talk much about himself, but he's coached college level athletes. He's got really good reputation for both of you. How much has he helped you guys just in this short time get you ready for this season? And then because you guys are every athlete at Memorial right now is a senior for 3 years basically. You get 3 years to do this. How ready has he gotten you guys?
He's gotten us ready pretty quick. I feel like a lot of us have definitely like showed
Growth.
growth throughout the season. Like I feel like during summer practice we were all like not the best, and now we're like ranked pretty good in state, and the boys are doing pretty good themselves too. So
What about you, Brax? What's he done to kind of light a fire for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. Just all the hard workouts we're doing really helping me on the sprinting end and all that jazz, but it's just put a lot of miles on my leg and give me a little bit more endurance there. So that's pretty nice.
So Coach Von Innenbecker is going to be pretty happy by the time he gets a hold of you for soccer.
Yeah, hopefully.
We'll get him in to talk about soccer. Right now we're going to do this really cool thing where we transition out of cross country and get the tennis folks in here. So thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming in. We'll talk again. While the tennis crew comes in, I'm going to run through the football schedule for this week, if I can find it. I thought I had it. Actually, we'll come back after that, and I'm going to get these guys to make sure they write their names down. Brandon Justiss,
Yes,
correct? Where
correct.
did you come from, Brandon, while letting your players write their names down here?
This will be my third year in Friendship. I was at Terra Vista for the previous 2 years, and 16 years before that I was in Frisco. Liberty and Panther Creek both.
It's just that small little district out there.
Yes, 12 high schools.
It really doesn't grow much.
Right, yes, absolutely.
I'll tell you a real quick story before we jump in. When I got to Lubbock in 1997, working at the Avalanche Journal, I believe at that point Frisco had one school.
Okay. We got there, we opened the third high school there.
And they just keep popping up?
I opened the third and the 12th. And so it's crazy growth, yes.
So I was just kidding when I said we'd go with the highest ranked team first because
No, that's fine.
you guys also popped up on the statewide scene, ranked 25th.
25th, correct. Yes.
Is that boys and girls? That's team tennis.
It's team tennis, correct.
Teams. At some point, I want to have one of you tennis coaches on and explain the differences between team tennis, because there are some differences.
There is, yes.
But they compete just the same. Introduce your two athletes here real quick.
Yeah, this is Justin Miller. He's a sophomore, and Adeline Trumbull. She's a sophomore as well. They both played at Friendship last year. You know, the neat thing for us is they both played varsity last year. We only have 3 varsity players on our team, so they had varsity experience as a whole, so which is really good.
There's a whole lot of newness in Memorial, and
Yes.
we'll talk a little bit more about that. I bet I know somebody you're related to when we come back. We'll come back after this break on 100.7 The Score. I'm Randy Rosetta.
Going inside Memorial Sports, this is the Panther Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back into the Panther Fan Zone. We're going to talk quick here because we've got one segment. Memorial is ranked 25th. They are going to be second place in their district behind Liberty, which Liberty had a couple of years here head start on them, so that's understandable. They will be in the playoffs. Coach, I'll let you say what's up next after you play at La Mesa tomorrow, close out the regular season.
Correct, yes. We close out district play tomorrow, and then start next Tuesday we have by-district against Big Spring at Snyder at 10 a.m. And so they finished third in their district, so first place 4, second place 3rd, so in District 3 and 4. So we do the 2-3 matchup there.
So, Justin, you were on Friendship's varsity last year. You got a taste of getting to the playoffs. Did you get to the postseason in both fall and spring?
Yes, sir.
How excited are you now to be with this new program, with new teammates and new coaches to jump into the water right away?
Yes, sir. I'm pretty excited because we able to build the program a little, so just to see where we're at right now, and we're doing pretty good. So hope next year will be pretty fun. Yes, sir.
Adeline, you were on varsity last year as well. Grab the microphone there so people can hear your voice.
yes, sir.
What's it been like for you to be a part of this program that's so new, where you guys have the experience? There's probably some other kids that are kind of learning what to do at this level.
Yes, well, I think it's a great start, actually, to start fresh. And since we're a smaller school, then the competition is obviously a little bit different. But I think it's good for us, especially for the freshmen, to get that experience.
Because you guys you probably played the first official athletic event for Memorial.
I think we were the very first team to compete.
Tennis starts so early.
Yes,
you guys,
August 1st was our first match.
you guys' summer kind of screeches to a halt, doesn't it?
Yes.
You have to get out there and get to work. You mentioned it. You guys, you're a small school right now, but Coach, we just mentioned you're probably going to jump up to 5A next year and get to play the Lubbock Highs and the Coronados and Monterey's. You know a lot of those players now that you'll see next year in that competition?
Yes, a few. They're all really good players, so I'm excited.
What about you, Justin? When you know that you're going to kind of have to ramp up next year, how important does that make what you guys do the rest of this fall and then in the spring?
Yes, sir. All the people in 5A in Lubbock are pretty solid, so just building the program this spring and fall, just getting ready for 5A is going to be big.
Brandon, how many of your kids were you familiar with, or did you know by the time you got? When did you start practicing for?
Well, we started practice. We had open hits throughout the summer, starting in we had one in June, I think, and then most of them they were all in July, maybe. I can't remember for sure. So I really got to see them in July at that time. And then I didn't know many of them. I would talk to coaches and kind of I knew Justin and Adeline just from last year. I would go with the team a couple of times. I drove the bus for them last season, so I knew them, but the other ones I didn't know much about. I heard great things from other coaches. They were great kids and great competitors and good tennis players. So
you heard me ask them about having that experience. How much has that helped your team to have a couple of kids who had been at that level, have been at the 6A level facing high-level competition?
Yeah, it's very important, because, like I say, we're in a 4A district, but our 4A district is actually very competitive for 4A, and, our scores have been very, very competitive every match. We've had a couple of 10-9 victories, but I think just the experience they get from playing that higher level is huge. And I think these guys they're big leaders on our team. They come in, they set the tone in practice, so for the younger ones know what to expect and how to participate and how to compete. So.
Justin, it's one thing to be there in the summer, hitting the ball around, getting used to each other. There's got to be a little competitive juice at some point that kicked in. How quickly did you kind of realize that this group could be pretty competitive?
Yes, sir. The competitive, it was a big part. When we started open hits, could just see that everybody was ready to play and excited to be on varsity, just excited to compete for their school. So, yes, sir.
And Addie, you guys are the first. You'll be the first forever with this team, this program. When you start thinking about that, you're what, 15?
Yes, sir.
So 15 and 16-year-olds don't really think about the future much. I've got a high school kid at home myself. But someday you're going to be able to tell your kids, that school over there, I was the very first tennis team. You kind of thought how cool that is?
Yes, it actually is very cool. And I think that this year we have a chance to set some records and to for newcomers to follow in our footsteps and try to even be better than we were. So
you're helping coach out too, because there's going to be kids that are watching what you guys do, and they're going to say, maybe I'll try this tennis thing. We're going to see if we can't come out and help that team. So
yes, I hope we encourage them.
I asked you before, you guys are strictly just tennis players, so you'll play this fall. What do you do in the months between now and spring tennis?
Just compete in tournaments and just practice a lot, trying to get better. Just preparing for the spring, whether it's singles or doubles or mixed. Just trying to do our best. Yes, sir. And
when does practice begin again for the spring?
It'll start January, right when we get back from break. So it gets right back into it.
So you get to keep going with these guys. That's going to wrap us up on the Panther Fan Zone. We'll be back after this break in the Patriot Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.